Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get free steering angle out of your 95 to 04 Mustang. Absolutely free. Let's get into today's video. I know you guys must be wondering, how are we actually going to get more steering angle for drifting and yeah, basically drifting. That's the biggest thing why you would want more steering angle. Also, these things turn like a truck, and definitely my welded diff makes things much harder on the stock steering system. So basically all you need to do is take off your stock spindles, right where the tie rod bolts into them. You need to cut that piece off and actually cut another inch off and weld it back on. So the tab for the tie rod will be moved backwards an inch and probably turn towards the motor, like turn in. So when you actually turn the wheel, it's going to be the same amount of rotations, but it's going to be much more angle. Definitely there's going to be some clearance issues, but we'll figure that out after we have already done the angle kit. Then we can clearance everything, or knock or push back or remove things that need to be removed to get out the way for more steering angle. But let's get into it. We are going to remove these spindles on both sides. Then we're going to take them to one of my friends and we're going to have him cut and weld them. So basically, if you don't have someone, a close friend or anyone that knows how to weld, then that's where the price comes in, because you'll have to pay someone to do it. But it should be very, very inexpensive to do it to begin with. But yeah, let's get to removing these spindles. Alright, so we have one side up. We got to remove the brake caliper, take off the nuts for the struts. There's two of them there. Take off the tie rod nut, and I believe that's it. Oh yeah, and the one last nut at the bottom, so the ball joint nut. So ball joint, tie rod, caliper, two nuts for the strut, and we should have the spindle off. But this here is extremely rusty, so let's hope we get it off properly. Alrighty, so we are now faced with a massive dilemma. The ball joint doesn't want to come out, and the tie rod doesn't want to come out. So definitely got to figure that out before we can move forward, because I can't seem to get these out. But hopefully we could get them out and continue moving forward. I'm gonna have to try to put some heat on it, or probably keep banging on it till I get it. Alrighty, so we're kind of stuck right now. Can't get this tie rod in out, can't get that ball joint out. Just sprayed some PB Blaster on it, some penetrating oil, letting them sit. Gonna go pick up one of those handheld torches and try to heat up the ends and take them off. Alrighty, so I got the spindle out, ended up having to use a method of heat, putting heat on the studs themselves. So I heated this one, and right after I got it nice and hot, I just sprayed some penetrating oil on it and ended up hitting, like I hit right here for the tie rod end, and then I ended up hitting up on the spindle itself to get the ball joint out. This is the taken out spindle. I'm going to take the rotor off of it, and then we're going to take it, and this is where the tie rod would go. We're going to cut it at an angle, cut an inch away off of it, and then weld it back on into place so that it gives us more steering angle. Alright, so this is the front right side spindle from the Mustang. The idea is that my friend came up with the idea that we're going to cut a V into it, and then we're going to just bang this part to bring this circle here where the tie rod ends up holding it. We're going to bring it here, which will essentially move it an inch back, and then we just weld the seams around it, and that should give us much more steering angle than before. Alright, so this was the goal, cut out a V, and then we're going to clean up the inside here. We're going to knock this piece over, so that brings the tie rod holder back an inch and also in towards the steering rack. That's going to give us a lot more angle. Alright, so this is now the end goal, and this is the result we was looking for. In the beginning, the tie rod end holder was here. Now we've cut out a V and brought it closer towards the steering rack and also an inch back, and that's gonna add to how much steering angle we actually get out of each turn. Alright guys, there you have it. That's the cheapest way to get more steering angle out of any drift car that you guys are building, especially a budget drift car. A lot of cars do have aftermarket steering arms that you can buy, but if you're doing this on a budget like I am always, you want to get the best bang for your buck. So take the steering arms off your vehicle, measure 1 inch back, and carry the tie rod in closer towards the steering rack, and that will definitely get you more angle. Alright guys, here it is, just roughly sitting in place on the car. I just have it sitting on the ball joint. The tie rod ends and the inner tie rod ends, and the inner and outer tie rod ends will need to be adjusted for where the tie rod holder sits now, but as you can see, it does clear and get in. I won't be installing these in this video because I have some more suspension stuff that I need to do before I can actually bolt this up and put it back on the ground. But when I actually do make a video of how the angle looks, I'll show you guys how to adjust for it. Definitely we're gonna need to clearance some stuff so that the tire doesn't rub on it, but we would have to have it on the ground and turn it lock to lock to find out what actually rubs from what doesn't rub. So Like I said, we're gonna do all the adjustments in another video, but it's super simple. This is your stock spindle. You just measure from where the tie rod holder was before. You measure 1 inch back, and then you point the tie rod holder inwards towards the steering rack at like a 45 or a 90-degree angle. It's up to you. The more you turn it in and the further back you go, the more angle you're gonna get, but 1 inch is usually pretty safe. Make sure you have a friend that knows what he's doing and knows how to weld properly. All right, so there you have it, guys. That is how you get more steering angle out of your factory spindles, tie rods, everything set up. You don't have to buy absolutely anything. You just need a friend that knows how to weld, knows exactly what he's doing, and you use the same method. You're gonna move your tie rod end holder 1 inch back, and you're gonna point it at a 45-degree angle towards the steering rack, and that will end up giving you much more angle left and right, so you won't spin out as easy when you're drifting, sliding, doing anything. And if you own one of these 95 to 04 Mustangs, you definitely know that these don't have the best steering angle. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next one.